It is sexual assault. It is a crime in this country, contrary to the criminal code.
That very clear statement from one of Canada's prominent sexual assault lawyers after hearing the details of incidents that are reported to have taken place inside St. Michael's College School in recent days. A warning: the details of our City News investigation are graphic. Now, tonight, several troubling questions hang over St. Mike's, including when did they learn about an alleged assault caught on video. In that video, you can see a young boy naked from the waist down. He is penetrated with a broomstick. And when, if at all, did they notify Toronto police about that specific incident? Toronto police maintain tonight they didn't show up here to investigate yesterday morning until they were notified by City News.
As a parent, it's deeply upsetting. As a member of society, it's troubling. As a lawyer, I hope they have their lawyers on retainer at this point in time.
A Toronto police source tells City News St. Michael's College contacted police regarding an incident on Monday, though City News has learned it wasn't for the alleged group assault under investigation. City News has seen two separate videos. In one, a boy wearing only a shirt and underwear is inside a large sink. The water is running over him and his bare skin is being slapped. A second separate incident shows a young boy naked from the waist down being penetrated by a broomstick, allegedly in the hands of other St. Mike's students. Police tell City News this alleged assault was not reported by the school. Both videos are becoming part of their police investigation. We know that parents saw the video. They told their children to erase the video. They sent their kids back to school. Do the parents have a responsibility?
It's hard to say if the parents have a legal responsibility. I would suggest that they have a moral one. I think certainly the individual teachers are accountable. I think that the Board of Governors or the board, they have reporting obligations under the Child and Family Services Act.
Multiple students have been expelled. Founded in 1852, St. Michael's College is owned by the Basilian Fathers, a religious order of 150 priests. The school's child protection policy states that implementation and monitoring the policy will be the responsibility of the principal or the principal's designate. It goes on to outline that members shall report suspected child abuse or sexual exploitation to both the CAS and the principal of St. Michael's.
It's a private school, but they're not beyond the purview of the law. I certainly would have many, many questions about what their priorities were and what their plan of action was and whose interests were at the top of their priority list.
City News has sent multiple emails to multiple staff members here at the school, communication staff, the board. We asked them several direct questions, including a timeline of events. As of this hour, we've yet to hear any response to any of our questions today. Now, one thing we do know is that an email did go out to parents who are contemplating sending their children here to St. Mike's. Now, Shauna Hunt joins me. Shauna, you've been looking at the alleged history here at the school.
That's right, Adrian. So people claiming to be former students of St. Mike's have been reaching out to City News ever since we broke this story. And some of them are painting a very similar picture of a toxic environment involving bullying and physical abuse, or physical assault, rather. On the other hand, though, we're also hearing from some alumni who are speaking out to defend the school's reputation.
There's very toxic masculinity that goes on there. I'm not surprised that things like this happen.
We agreed to protect the identity of former students reaching out with concern over repercussions. On the phone, one man tells me he started at St. Mike's in grade 7 and left in grade 10 after enduring years of constant bullying. He witnessed bloody fistfights in the hallways and claims teachers often turned a blind eye to what was going on. Another former student reached out through email claiming this was his experience at the school. My clothes were thrown in the trash. Students would spit, grab me, or throw the odd punch. On at least 2 occasions, other students rubbed their genitals on me. But others are defending the school's reputation. Outgoing TTC chair Josh Cole, who attended St. Mike's decades ago, remembers things very differently. Certainly, at my time at the school, I never noticed any of that. And if anything, it was quite the opposite. It was an environment of camaraderie and nurturing from staff and the whole kind of community. So no, certainly that was not my experience at St. Mike's. Bob Stellick, a marketer who spent 20 years in professional sports, turns to the Maple Leaf Gardens sexual abuse scandal as a learning tool.
I think the biggest challenge we had back in the Maple Leaf Gardens days is we assumed that, or a lot of people assumed that it wasn't a widespread incident, that one individual had a terrible situation happen. Reality in hindsight was that was the right opportunity and the right time to reach out and find out more. And that's the big mistake, and I think the lesson a lot of people have learned from the Maple Leaf Gardens incident is don't assume that it's contained, don't assume that these are the only people, and reach out.
Oren Amate is a child psychologist and has been keeping a close eye on this investigation. Or the reports are that it was up to 10 people involved in the making of this video who were there witnessing. And what's that mentality like in a group of young people? How come no one said, hey, this isn't right?
See, this is not just for young people, it's for most people. Sure. When you're in a group, we're social animals. So if the leader, so to speak, is doing something, most people will follow, or at the very least, they're just not going to get involved. Very few people will ever step up and say, hey, that's wrong. Most people think they would. All the research shows that most people do not.
What are some of the long-term psychological effects that could come from this?
Well, it depends on how it's dealt with. Now that the video has been shown publicly, the person is going to be carrying that shame and humiliation around for possibly forever. If the school did not take proper action, then the person learns a lesson that you can't count on the authority. You can't count on structure or society to protect you. And so when you go into a workplace, for example, you don't feel that you have the ability or the right to, make, let's say, complaints if you have a colleague or a superior who's acting inappropriately. I deal with so many adults who were bullied in childhood, and because of those factors, it carries with them for the rest of their lives.
Now, I also did reach out to St. Michael's School today regarding those claims and other alleged incidents of the hazing, and have yet to receive a response. Now, I also want to show you this video. So here you can, here's a look at police officers at St. Michael's College School this afternoon. You can see that they are carrying firearms. Police were here because of a threat that was made, but at this point, Toronto police will not comment on what type of threat it was. And now, we did start this investigation after being tipped off by a City News viewer. If there's information you would like to share with us regarding St. Michael's College School, here are the ways you can reach us.